Now, Saturday Kitchen will be on BBC Two, not BBC One this morning. It starts at 10 o'clock, as always, and Matt can tell us what's in store. Morning, Matt.
Good morning, Naga. It's good that we've got this link. Just to remind everyone that we are live, as usual, but on BBC Two, like you just said. Our special guest today is Shane Richie. Shane, how are you?
Good morning, Matt. You're rocking the old Harry Styles hair today, aren't you, eh? Looking good.
It's like middle-aged hair, but thanks for pointing that out. Is it nice to be out and about?
Oh, just to get out of the house. I'm not even sure I'm supposed to be on the show. I just wanted to be somewhere else other than at home. I'm sure you booked Lionel Richie and you've got it wrong.
Now, listen, at the end of the show, you know how it goes. Food heaven, food hell. What should I do for food heaven?
Food heaven, a nice bit of turbot. I got introduced to that with some roasted vegetables.
Low maintenance, then?
No, and hell is... I'm not a big fan of pork, regardless of how you cook it. And anything boiled. I'm done with boiled vegetables.
Done with boiled vegetables. You've reached that point in your life where
that's it, a year
made
of
your decision.
Boiled vegetables. Done.
Two great chefs here as well. Adam Byatt, what's on the menu?
We're going to cook a celebration of spring, Matt. Minestrone of spring vegetables with poached chicken and wild garlic pesto.
Very nice. Judy Jew, what's cooking?
Kimchi mac and cheese, with the secret ingredient being kimchi, Korean spicy fermented cabbage.
Fermented cabbage?
Yes.
Wait!
It's delicious.
Is it? OK.
Ollie, how did you get on with it this week? Very nice, very nice. And as usual, what Shane gets to eat at the end of the show is down to you guys at home. So just go to the website for voting details, and we'll see you at 10 on BBC Two, remember.
Matt, thanks very much.
Thanks, Matt.
Some changes starting now with Matt.
Good morning. We're here on BBC Two due to the coverage of the funeral of His Royal Highness the Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh. We will all, of course, be watching the proceedings ourselves, but meanwhile, before the country embarks on today's official events, we'll do our best to give you some respectful entertainment. This is Saturday Kitchen Live. Welcome to the show. Cooking in the studio today, our good friend and neighbour, Adam Byatt, and Judy Jew, who's making a welcome return to the show. And everyone's friend, Ollie Smith, is providing the wine matches. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Matt. Morning. Good.
Nice to see you. Nice to see you. I like your top, Ollie. It's got a certain texture to it. Our special guest caused chaos last time he was on the show, so much so that we tried to leave him on the roof terrace. He's promised he'll be on his best behaviour today. Please welcome Shane Richie.
I don't remember. Pick you up on that, Matt. I don't remember making a promise. You've not kept in touch.
Yeah.
So, you know, anything could happen over the next...
Slightly chaotic show, that one.
Was it? I don't remember.
Slightly
was
chaotic.
it? Did we have complaints?
No,
Probably.
No,
doesn't matter.
So this is your first time on BBC Two?
Well, yeah, I've noticed it's very different today on BBC Two. See, BBC One, things are screwed down. But now we're on BBC Two, we've got like proper cutlery. See, BBC One, you have to bring your own, which I've noticed. And also coming into the building, I noticed we was on BBC Two, because BBC One, you'd come and you'd hear a bit of Paul Weller jam.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing chamber music. And normally I'd come in and BBC One staff are like, all right, Shane, all right, Richie, where's Cat? I've come in and they're like, I don't know where I knew. I knew.
So you were picking up those BBC Two vibes.
So this is BBC Two, and it's my first time, so I'm happy to be on BBC Two.
Good.
And listen, nothing's screwed down, you see, on BBC Two. All right there, Ollie, can you feel that, mate?
I can, wibbling around.
Hey, he's had the barnet done and everything, and look at him. There you go, Ollie.
Right, let's have a look what's on the menu today. Adam, tell us what you're making. Judy, great to have you back.
Thank you.
What have you got?
I am making my famous kimchi mac and cheese, where kimchi is the secret ingredient, and that's a Korean spicy fermented cabbage.
Two of the best things in the world in one dish.
Yes.
And that is delicious.
Mac and cheese.
That's delicious.
Really?
Do you like the sound of those dishes?
Yeah, I do. I like mac and cheese. My kids love, so giving it a little twist on the mac and cheese. Got your back, girl.
Yes.
Don't you worry.
Yes.
Now, Ollie, have you found some wine pairings to go with these? Listen, at the end of the show, food heaven, food hell. What should I do, food heaven?
Oh, food heaven is just sitting with grown-ups around the table right now. It's my food heaven. Food heaven. I got introduced to Turbot. You know Tony Tobin, don't you? He's
Yes,
a friend of mine, TV chef. He introduced me a few years ago, and
To a turbot?
yeah, to a turbot. You went, all right, Shane, all right, turbot. And all year, you know, we've been having boiled vegetables, and in the last couple of months I said, right, Mrs. Richie, I don't want any more boiled vegetables. So we kind of...
Is that what you call it? Full title?
Yeah, so we...
Mrs. Richie.
Mrs. Richie. And so we started roasting the vegetables, and I've really got into roasting vegetables.
Okay.
And it's really quick and easy. And pesto sauce over the top of the kids.
lovely.
Love that.
Nice.
So, yeah, nice bit of white fish with some roasted vegetables.
Okay. And what about it? I can do that.
Okay.
If they let me.
Okay.
You know?
They'll let you.
And what about hell?
Hell is just sitting around a table with kids now and playing board games. I'm done with board games. If I play Cluedo one more time with
there's a lot of knowing laughs going on over there.
Listen, mums and dads at home watching this, you know what I'm talking about, okay? So food hell. I'm not a big fan of pork. I know my mother-in-law loves to... they love pork. It's their 50th anniversary today, so I just want to say
hello.
So to Jackie and Phil, happy 50th today. So they're around tomorrow. So I'm not a big fan of pork, and also anything boiled now, vegetables. I'm not a fan of boiled vegetables. I'm kind of done with it.
Right.
That's how I feel about
Okay.
it. So I don't want any boiled vegetables.
Okay, well, that's pretty straightforward. Okay. So if the viewers give you heaven, I'm going to cook what I and many others call the king of the seas, turbot. So I'm going to poach a fillet of turbot in some white wine, some sauce. If the viewers give you hell, it's going to be my take on a traditional Danish pork dish. So I'm going to roast a rack of pork, which has been covered in juniper and coriander and fennel seeds. I'm going to serve slices of that with some pickled, sugar-cured traditional, and I'm going to serve that with some of your dreaded boiled potatoes and parsley, because you don't like parsley.
No, people take parsley and move it to the side anyway. They sprinkle parsley on it. It's the grass.
Got good crackling.
Good crackling. I might try the crackling.
Right. Obviously, you're going to have to wait to the end of the show.
Of course, I'll be here.
We'll see where we go. Don't forget to vote for Shane's version of my lamb dish from Neil Morrissey's Heaven last week.
Okay.
He's a nice fella.
Yeah, all right.
I'm not saying you're not.
Yeah, all right. You made it sound like that.
I thought
like I'm not a nice bloke. Listen, last time I was here, you were a stand-in. Now you've got a job permanently. You've changed, you, man. You've got big time all of a sudden, haven't you? You're wearing your Harry Styles hair. I turned up in the first show. You were a stand-in. Someone had gone missing. And now you've got the job. You're like, shut your face, Richie. Yeah.
Right. And finally, Beverly not only made Santiago Lastra's in, so that was a little sauce in there.
All right.
With some longest, and you squeeze the longestine heads.
It's a lot of hard work. It looks great, but it's a lot of hard work.
If I made a pot, it wouldn't look like that.
No, me neither. God, no. But that's a definitely BBC Two dish. If we was on BBC One now, I don't think we'd show that.
No, definitely. So there's a different level.
Oh, well, we'd be showing cheeseburgers now on BBC One.
Keep them coming in. That's Channel 4. Keep them coming in. Just...
No, don't be silly.
Oh, come on. Come on.
It's funny, pesto sauce is a big go-to in our house because my kids are now vegetarian.
Yes.
Three children. So we have pesto sauce on everything right now.
Right.
You know, and I normally have vegetarian stuffed chicken when I can get it.
So do you eat what they eat?
It's like my youngest. 2 years ago, she's only 9, so when she was 7, she became a vegetarian. That's when, you know, Disney and DreamWorks started giving animals voices and names.
Is that when it all began?
Yeah, it kind of did, really. And then my 12-year-old Lolita, now my son, who's almost 15, has become a vegetarian.
Right.
And my wife is kind of like, you know, Shane, you should try this. And I think we're slowly becoming...
Yeah.
And there's some incredible dishes, and, you know... And there's lots of stuff on YouTube that we try and watch and follow, and some great dishes out there. Yeah. But occasionally, I still love a kebab.
I mean, that really is one extreme to the other.
Ow. Bang with a glass table. Who cut a tree in half and turned it into a table? This is definitely BBC Two. You wouldn't get this on BBC One, would you?
So I've just taken some of that chicken.
Something you serve in your restaurant, right?
Yeah.
You feel like, what sort of price would a dish like this be?
To you?
Well, the mate's rate. Mate's rate. What?
It's all part of a set menu for us.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Shane. Yeah, it doesn't go individually priced, but
right.
I don't know. That I would probably sell to you very happily at £10, £12.
Wow.
You know, that's a beautiful plate of food and...
Yeah, all sort of food you want to be sitting outside, you know, under a lovely canopy.
But it's all part of a set menu, so it kind of all forms there. And
it's a lot. I mean, I don't think people really appreciate the amount of work that goes in. Beautiful. Right.
Oh,
there you go.
Thanks, buddy.
Breakfast of BBC Two.
This.
Breakfast of champions.
See, BBC Two, we've got proper cutlery.
It even matches.
Yeah.
Right, Ollie, what did you match with this? How was that match for you?
Really
You're really
good.
into your wine, aren't you?
Yeah, I am, and I love this. And I don't know or drink enough Italian wine, but this is fabulous. I like the fact that it's a trinity of grapes as well.
Great name, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Trinity, of course.
Super zingy is exactly what you should be drinking with this, actually. Cut that fat with the pesto and the chicken.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful, yeah.
It's so light and fresh.
This is absolutely delicious. Seriously.
I'll get that
good.
quote, lovely.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want that on the menu, though, would you?
Shane says absolutely delicious.
Just got cheaper. Sean. Just got cheaper.
Do you take away?
How's the wine down there?
It's fantastic. It mirrors the soup exactly. It's clean and fresh and crisp. Yeah.
Well done,
Very
kids.
good. Very good.
Still got it. Yeah, this
This
is.
the first beans I've eaten since leaving the castle, because I said I'd never eat beans again.
I want to talk about this.
Well, I may not.
Talk about that.
That's how I feel about it.
I'm excited about it.
I can't want to talk about
right,
it.
coming
In fact, I'm not going to talk about it, so
I'm
shut your
gonna
face, I'm not going to talk about it.
Coming up, Judy's making a delicious
I'm done.
kimchi, mac and cheese, and
4 years old, but as they get over, they just get a little bit richer. It's a wonderful underrated wine, and it really is one of those flavours that isn't just for Christmas time, all year round. It's just gorgeous.
so I'm going to roast these figs in a bit of brown sugar, vanilla, and the masala. A little touch of butter in there just to make it a little bit sort of richer and silkier. And then I'm going to make a syllabub with some lemon, some more masala, and a bit of ice and sugar. And I'm going to toast off these almonds in some maple syrup to make them all nice and crispy. And that's pretty much it. The last time you were on, I think we briefly touched on it, actually.
Well, was that long ago?
It was a while ago.
Had I gone into the show then, or was I talking about going into the show?
Yeah, I think you were talking about going into it.
Right, okay.
It's now proved massively popular.
Big hit, yeah.
So tell us the premise of it. It's
Yeah.
based on a true story.
Yeah, based on a true story, which, funny enough, the BBC did a documentary about it some years ago about a young...
Still available on BBC iPlayer.
I believe.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Up with that.
A young lad called Jamie who... The premise of the story is he wants to go to his school prom and he wants to wear a dress. And on the strength of that, we've got a musical. And it's really about diversity. It's about being who you want to be and, you know, and having strength in who you are. And I play his mentor, Hugo, stroke Loco Chanel, a drag queen.
And a drag queen who owns a shop.
That's right, who owns Victor's Secret.
Victor's Secret.
Victor's Secret,
Great.
not to be, yeah. One for the dads. Yeah, and we were supposed to reopen. I did the West End initially. After I come out of EastEnders, I went in the show for a few months, and then we kicked off last year a UK/European tour, and we were 4 weeks into it when, like all my industry and probably everybody else's business throughout the UK, it stopped. So, and then I had a year of kind of doing bits and pieces and practically doing nothing, really.
Right.
And so now we kick off again. I think we're going to be the first show in the West End to open at the Apollo on May the 20th. So we're kind of...
Okay.
And Nika Burns, who's the producer, is kind of leading the way. She's a strong lady and she's gone, no, we're opening up. I think albeit, obviously, the audience socially distanced and a certain number of people in the theatre, but that will open as the weeks and months go on.
Right. I mean, what I found almost astonishing is that this story is about 10 years old.
Yeah.
I don't think that'd be the case now. I think if a young kid wanted to go to his prom in a dress, nobody would bat an eyelid.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it's not a story that'll ever be dated, but I think...
No.
But I think you're right. I think when this happened 10 years ago, this is a show I don't think you could have made 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think certainly after the year, you know, everyone in the UK's had, I think this is a story that is so apt now.
Yeah.
You know, there's been a lot of children and a lot of people out, you know, that have spent time on their own and have kind of finding out who they are.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's...
And obviously you've got, you know, the huge show, RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
Which is now front and centre to a lot of people's viewing world. So those sort of things help as well.
Yeah, and drag is an art form. I mean, when I started in the business in the 80s, I was doing stand-up at the time, and I would work with, like, you know, drag queens and male strippers, and these were like shows that were they were lock-ins, and they're almost illegal. And you know, in pubs, they'd shut the doors, and we'd do shows upstairs.
Right.
And when you think 40 years later, you know, it's been celebrated, and quite rightly as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And as you say, RuPaul's Drag Race, my daughters watch that.
Yeah.
You know, and it's right to be celebrated. And of course, I play a drag queen, and I've got to get into a size 12 dress.
Oh, and that was the conversation.
That was the conversation me and Judy were having.
Oh, I see. Now you get into context.
Yeah, no, trust me, I don't do the school run in a nice little miniskirt. But yeah, so I put on a few pounds while we've been in lockdown, like a lot of us.
Yeah.
And then while I was in the castle, I might talk about it. I'll see how I feel. You know, eating rice and beans, I dropped nearly a stone. And that's when we were going to start the show again. But, of course, we went into a third lockdown. It didn't happen, so I've just been sitting in front of the telly watching you. So I need the next 4 weeks. I kind of drop a few pounds. And get back in the 6-inch heels. Do you wear heels, Julie?
Yes. You have empathy for us.
Yeah, I know you
now,
feel,
right?
girl. My calves.
Yeah. It's a workout.
It's a workout, girl. Tell me that's right. I'd give you a high five, but we can't. So next week, the producers are sending the heels around the house, much to my daughter's dismay. When the old postman turns up, and I go, I'll get the postman. Don't you worry, girl. So I've got to start wearing the heels again and getting back into my dress.
You just practice walking around and running in heels.
And drag queen makeup, I mean, normally they take 3 hours to put on. I have exactly 18 minutes to get out.
And this is a picture of you.
Oh, is there a picture? There we go.
That's
Look
you.
at that. There's me, Jude.
Oh,
Looking like Bet Lynch.
beautiful. Beautiful.
Can I, while you're looking at this, can I just while I can get a word in?
Yeah, sorry.
So
I'm sorry,
in
still
here,
cooking. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm still cooking. So in here, almonds.
What would happen if you did overweight?
Well, I can show you if you like. It would basically separate, go split and grainy and horrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you keep going, you turn it into butter.
Yeah.
Basically.
And the lemon.
Okay, not a bad
lemon
shout.
will set it as well. You know, the lemon sets it.
And I mean, it's one of those sort of, it's a bit of science really, especially under the heat, the lights.
Right.
You just got to be careful. So at some point you just stop and stir, and that's it. Otherwise, it's really easy to split. Right. So I'll start doing this.
Syllabub was derived from Sillery, which is a village in the Marne in France, in the Champagne region. And bub, in Elizabethan times, they liked the sill, the wine, and they liked the bub, which was the fizz. So that's how it originally got its name. And they actually made it in those days with a beer. It was in the 19th century that it became made with more whipped cream and lemon.
Yeah, all right, Ollie.
brandy.
All right, thanks, loves. Standing in front of a brick wall, you've probably got Google in front of you there, haven't you? It looks like he's just stepped out of a Shawaddy Waddy tribute band, doesn't it, eh? Waddy Waddy, one for the grown-ups, one.
Thank you, Ollie. That was
thanks, Ollie.
That was a lot of information
Well done, mate.
very quickly.
Let me see what you look like as a drag queen.
I'd love it.
You really would.
Yeah, you would. Feel about it.
I mean, I love the fact that you were hoping to get to Australia.
We had it, I know.
You ended up in Wales.
We had it all planned as a family trip. We were, my wife and the kids were looking for. Never been to Australia before. Had it all planned, and we went to Wales. But I had a great time in Wales.
Australia, Wales.
Welsh castle, haunted Welsh castle. It was great. Mo Farah. What a legend he is. Yeah.
I bet that was.
I'm not
I bet
talking about it though.
Hey,
I'm not talking.
But you're not talking about it. No, that's fine. Right.
Right.
Yes, remember.
Yeah.
Right. What I mean, make of a Shane at the end of the show. Will it be his food heaven?
Please.
Turbot roasted, poached a fillet of turbot in some white wine. Or, and it's looking like food hell, Danish roast pork. So I'm going to roast a rack of pork with some juniper. Is now tipping the other way.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Well, listen, Jim. It's up to you.
I'm going to make you.
Well, I'm not going to. Can't make me.
I am.
Feet off ground. Feet off ground. You got to make me.
Like I'm back into school.
Bay nights. Bay nights.
Go and log on to the website now and have your say. Still to come. I'll be giving you 2 quick and tasty recipes if you're having a picnic with friends and family this weekend. And Shane will be facing Evie's food heaven. Poached fillet of turbot with roasted vegetables, roast pork with boiled vegetables, boiled potatoes rather than pickled prunes. Go along to the website now and have your things in the world. Kimchi, mac and cheese.
Exactly. Yes. Have you had kimchi before? So I brought some, my homemade kimchi right here. And then we're combining it with a very classic mac and cheese. I like to use 4 different cheeses in my mac and cheese. And I like to start it out with a very, kind of traditional bechamel sauce because it makes it more velvety. It gives it more of an unctuous, silky texture. Woo! Oh, what do you think of that?
Oh, I love it.
On its own.
Oh, I love it.
I'm on fire. I'm on fire.
It's smoky, isn't it?
It is punchy. So, yeah. What do you think? No, too much? Too much?
I told you. Tonsils are in my socks.
Give him more.
Gosh, so funny. So kimchi is actually an umbrella term for all of the kimchis out there. So there are officially 200 different varieties of kimchi, but you can really kimchi anything, any vegetable or fruit that's going to stand up to the fermentation process. Oh, right. So you can have broccoli kimchi, green mango kimchi.
Anything.
You can kimchi anything. I like to say you kimchify it.
Okay.
Exactly.
I didn't realise that. I thought it was always that. It was always
No. And kimchi is made once a year in Korea. So we make it in November, and it's a big party. We call it a kimjang. And then all the family, all the communities come together and they make it together. Yeah. And every family has their own version of kimchi. It's like the spaghetti sauce of Korea. So these recipes are obviously handed down like heirlooms, generation to generation, and every even regional areas have their own specialties.
Right.
Yep, and here I'm just melting in these 4 cheeses. I've got blue cheese and goat cheese, give it a bit of tang, and of course Parmesan.
So already this is setting up to be a pretty spectacular mac and cheese.
Definitely. I mean, if you're going to eat mac and cheese, eat a mac and cheese.
I hope my kids are watching this now because they absolutely love mac.
Really?
Yeah, it's a real family dish, isn't it? For children as well, you know.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I use it to clean out my cheese drawer.
You have a cheese drawer?
You have a cheese drawer?
Cheese drawer? I've got an underpants drawer. Does that
It's like that, but full of cheese.
Yeah. That's good, yeah. And so you can put anything in there. Like, the more different combinations, I think, the better. But you want something tangy, you want something nutty. I like to throw in some Comté in there also, which is nice. Yeah. And you have to at least have a bit of crunchiness on the top, too. So I like to put some breadcrumb in the form of panko and, you know, just toast it with some butter.
Now, Judy, let's tell the viewers a little bit about you. So you started life in finance, I believe, in New York.
I did.
In the cut and thrust of a trading floor.
I did. So I had this rather serendipitous route into the kitchen. So, you know, my parents didn't really think that being a chef was in my future.
Right.
I taught them that it was. But yeah, no, I was trading fixed income derivatives for a number of years on the floor before I found my calling and decided to follow, you know, my passion and not a paycheck.
Yeah. And then you moved over here, is that right?
Yes,
You
I did.
introduced yourself to Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, I started staging in his kitchens.
Yeah.
And worked in his kitchens and all of the different restaurants for a number of years. So
How did you find him? Did you like him?
He wasn't really there too much when I was there. He had already moved on, but you know, worked very closely with Jason Atherton, who's fantastic, and you know, spent some time in all of different restaurants with Chantal Nicholson, who I love to death, and you know, many great chefs went through those kitchens, and Mark Askew, who is still a mentor of mine. So,
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no. I love and keep in touch with all of these people.
So Korean American, and now you live in London, and you see yourself as first and foremost a Londoner now, do you?
I've been here 17, 18 years, so I mean, that doesn't define me as a Londoner. What does?
Yeah,
you know?
true.
Yeah, French-trained Korean-American Londoner.
Okay.
So I am pulling inspiration from all around the world, which is like this dish, you know, very American, but also got some Korean elements. And, you know, kimchi and cheese really is a thing now. Even the cheese toasty store near me, you know, has kimchi.
You see it everywhere.
Everywhere. Michelin-starred restaurants are putting it on the menu. I hope to see it on yours.
What I was interested in, actually, you know, it's like a condiment, kimchi, right?
Yes, it's a side dish, but you can cook it and put it in.
Does it change when you heat it up like this?
Oh,
yes. Does it change the texture or the...
Texture definitely becomes softer. It becomes a bit more muted also. It's not as spicy, but you can put it in soups. You can put it in stews and things. Yes, you can throw it on your barbecue outside. Yeah. Give people a little treat of that.
You could barbecue it.
Yeah, you can do. I mean, I've done that in the past.
Put that one in the bank.
That could be interesting, couldn't it?
Definitely. So this is just.
So this is on your menu at Soulbird. This is a restaurant which you opened during a pandemic.
I know. How dumb was that?
I mean, you know.
So I've closed it 3 times and reopening in May.
Okay.
So we're in the Shepherd's Bush Westfield Mall. And we have another one coming.
In Canary Wharf?
In Canary Wharf.
Okay.
So there's a famous saying that with chaos comes opportunity.
Yeah.
And so...
I think accountants say that.
Yeah.
And hedge fund managers.
I guess so. And so, I just want to make sure. I'm not going to put parsley on yours because I know you think it's
no, I don't mind. I just said that for comedy purposes. That was the only reason I said it.
So your restaurant, Soulbird, it specialises in Korean
fried chicken. It's the better KFC, as we say.
Okay.
And we also have Korean fried cauliflower, which is another version of KFC.
So what sets that apart from your traditional kind of American fried chicken?
Oh gosh, Korean fried chicken is extra crunchy, and it's also been nicknamed eggshell chicken and also stained glass chicken because it's known for that extra, you know, crunchy, crispy crust, which is just fantastic.
Right.
And also, it's always served with delicious umami-filled sauces. So Korean cuisine is really grounded in fermentation, like kimchi. But gochujang, which is a spicy Korean fermented chili paste, which is so good.
Which you now see in a lot of supermarkets.
Everywhere. It's great. You know, Korean greens really are going global. And
do you sell your kimchi recipe in the restaurant?
No, we are not making that there. We used to do it in
my...
It is. I mean, it's very different when you make it yourself. It's full of the probiotics.
Yeah.
You know, with like any ingredient or thing that kind of gets popular, it tends to be commercialized, and they start putting stabilizers and preservatives in it, and all kinds of things that aren't necessarily good for you. But when you do make it yourself, it's full of those great probiotics that really heal your gut. It's a superfood.
So Judy, this is what's in yours, isn't
Yes.
it? So let's talk us through the ingredients of your kimchi.
Okay, so there are many different things. The real deep umami flavors come from the salted shrimp and also the anchovy sauce, which are in the center. And then there's
these are the salted shrimp.
Yes,
You see
it's
those?
unlike any other type of shrimp paste that you find in Southeast Asia or anything like that. It really is its own ingredient, and that's where all the great umami comes from.
Right.
And also the anchovy, like fish sauce, which is also a bit different from the Southeast Asian versions.
Want to try?
Yeah, I'll have an anchovy, mate. I love an anchovy.
Yeah.
Lovely. They're easy to buy.
They're dry.
Yeah, you can find it in the freezer section in Korean grocery stores. And then, of course, we're making this one is cabbage, but there's a lot of ginger, an offensive amount of garlic.
Yeah.
And then also I put...
No such thing. No such thing.
Tons of garlic today. I love it. I absolutely love it.
So why, out of interest, what you have this traditional kind of kimchi festival, as it were, where you make it once a year. Why in November?
Because that's harvest.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's when all the great cabbages and all the great produce that is all harvested comes out of the ground.
So it was a method of preserving?
Yeah, preservation.
Yes, it is. Yeah, because
basically.
Korea has really, really deep, cold winters.
Right.
And so there's a tradition of preservation and salting and all that stuff.
And so when you travel about and you've seen the growth of this stuff, this kimchi, it's now in supermarkets. I've seen it on chips, which are delicious. You talking about toasted sandwiches. Does that upset you, or is that just? Do you think that's brilliant?
Oh, I think that's absolutely brilliant. I mean, because Korean cuisine really needs to go global, and it doesn't have to be 100% authentic. And I always say that today's invention is tomorrow's tradition. So it's going to evolve. Chinese American cuisine is not found in China. Same with Italian American cuisine is not found in Italy. And so in order for the cuisine to truly go global, people are going to take elements of it and then just adapt. And I think that's absolutely brilliant. And that's how it goes.
I've got a feeling Adam will be taking the barbecued kimchi element away with him next week.
I love that. Please do.
So it looks amazing. I want to eat it. What is it?
This is kimchi mac and cheese made with 4 different cheeses.
Fantastic.
Wow.
You ready?
Wow, Judy.
I ate a whole bowl of this in rehearsal.
Right, now my kids are at home watching this, and it's my wife's birthday on Monday, so I want to wish her a happy birthday.
Yeah, you better.
Not going to be there. I'm coming round to yours, Matt. My kids love mac. You've changed. And BBC, if we're on BBC One now, you just said come round. We're on BBC Two now. But so mac and cheese, I've had loads of this over the last year, and I kind of got used to a certain taste. So listen, this is like this. Judy, that is unbelievable.
Good, isn't it?
That is better than good.
Oh, I'm glad you like it.
Oh, my kids would love this.
It's not vegetarian though, because kimchi has the salted shrimp and the anchovy.
Well, now you sport it.
Okay, well, you could pretend.
Well,
they don't have to know.
I won't let them watch this when I get home. We've recorded the show, but I won't let them see that bit.
That's fine. It's
Honestly,
hidden in there.
that combination of cheeses is just delicious. I thought the blue cheese, I thought you got mad. I thought it was going to be too strong with the kimchi.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Silky smooth.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing.
Definitely.
Ollie Smith, what have you matched to go with this?
I think in Britain we're super lucky to have them. And actually, when I was pairing the drinks this week, I was reflecting, as we all have, on His Royal Highness Prince Philip. And I was lucky enough, actually, once to share a drink with him. And I was reflecting that, he was a great supporter of British produce. And I'm pretty sure he loved a craft beer as well. So it seems appropriate, maybe, to raise our glass and say cheers.
Absolutely. What a lovely thing, Ollie. Cheers.
Cheers.
It's
very nice.
It's delicious.
It smells different than it tastes, though. It
smells citrusy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Shane, you're absolutely right. So the flavour, it has this real kind of surging intensity to it. So that spice in the kimchi, that's what the beer can handle, A wine could probably do it, but it might get lost. This, rich as well as refreshing. I love these guys. I think they're making some of the best beers in Britain.
Calling it a pale ale, though, it feels like it dates it, though.
It's got the connotations of,
because I grew up in clubs. My dad used to run clubs in London, and pale ale was like, right, Ollie, come on now, let's have a pale ale here, it's different.
Yeah, no, this is lovely. Really good. You
Fabulous. Fabulous pairing.
Enjoy
Well
that beer
done.
down there.
Very nice, thank you. Very nice, Ollie.
Good. Well done, Ollie. Well done. That was a nice toast as well. Right, let's head to Wales now. Right, nice easy one to do with your kids. You can give that a try.
Excited.
Okay,
Yum.
listen, I'm just ready for bed. I've had a glass of wine.
Okay. Right, there you go. Watch that. It's got a bit of paper on it.
Are you going savoury
thank you.
first?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
Dessert.
don't say
All right.
So will Shane be facing his food heaven? Poached fillet of turbot with boiled potatoes.
Run out of time.
Yeah, I've read
Forget
about
about
it. We're going to find out after Nigella shares her recipe for mackerel pasta. Heaven or food hell?
Oh, here we go.
So white fish,
Turbo.
turbot, and
Turbot.
vegetables, roasted vegetables,
Roasted.
delicious. Or pork. Oh, hate pork.
I'm not really on a pork, mate. I'm not really.
Dry old pork. It's delicious pork. And you don't like the whole savoury and fruit thing, do you?
No, I don't like when people put fruit in salads.
Dirty.
Is that wrong? Is that wrong? I feel like I've let you down. I feel like it's going to be another 2 years till you invite me back. Right
You know
now.
what? 2 year cycle is pretty good.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Right, where do you think we've gone with this?
Well, I'd like to think a bit like the castle when I
Yeah.
was doing I'm a Slave.
You don't like to talk about that,
No,
do you?
but everyone was voting for me. It felt like the whole country was voting for me to do every trial and every challenge. I think I'd like to think my family have broken the bank and gone for heaven.
Do you?
Am I wrong?
It was incredibly close.
No, really?
Thousands of people.
Thousands.
Thousands. 13 votes in it.
No.
Yeah.
That's my family in Dublin.
30. And do you know where it went?
Go on.
Oh,
really?
Hell.
Oh.
Well, I'm off here. You've been lovely.
Very close.
All
Dave.
together.
Very close.
Bright eyes. burning-
Don't touch the props.
That's a money box. That is not even a proper.
Is it a money
it's
box?
a money box. Look. Won't get that on BBC One.
You do weekly, yeah. Right, okay, hell, this is going to change your mind.
Okay.
Pay attention.
Right.
Okay, so this is a Danish-inspired recipe. Are there other bits and pieces? I can't remember.
Yeah, there's a star anise and some peppercorns and a
you go.
cinnamon stick there, yeah.
Right, so you put that, you put the prunes in there. It's a great combination. Take your elbow off the
No,
table.
let me ask you something. How many guests have you had on here where the general public have voted for hell?
Quite a lot. It goes towards the food, I have
So
to
I
say.
don't take it personally then, no?
It's all about the food.
Okay.
And to be honest, I mean, that picture that we showed throughout, it looked nice. The crackling looked good.
Did it? Okay.
I mean, pork crackle.
But you know, it's things like meat. That's what's things like why mint sauce was invented and different sauces for meats because meats are fairly, quite boring and a bit of a bland taste. No, they really aren't, and that's why
You're converting, aren't you?
Well,
Yeah,
it's just that's why you chefs you put together all these sauces to make meats that bit more interesting. Whereas I don't think you need to do it with fish.
Well, I don't know if it's true, and if somebody's out there can tell me. I heard the reason we originally put mint and rosemary with lamb is because the wool industry was so vibrant, so strong, and they didn't want people to eat the meat. So by handing down this law whereby you had to eat it with bitter herbs, it would put people off. And
Let's go to the oracle, Ollie.
In fact, it turns out it was.
I'm going to say that Matt is never wrong.
There we go. Matt's never wrong.
I think if you chat to my wife, she might disagree with you, actually, Ollie. Right, OK, so that pork goes in the oven for...
Has kind of converted me over the years. Me and my wife have been together 20 years, and I've never really eaten pork, but the mother-in-law loves making pork.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I should be watching this right now.
Right.
Yeah, I like bacon.
Bacon, okay.
I like bacon.
Bacon, but no pork.
But in my house at the moment, just everyone being vegetarians, it's a bit of a no-no.
Yeah. Right. Bit of ginger in here. What's the issue with ginger?
Oh, I don't know. I was working in LA. I'm going back now about 30 years ago. I was doing some gigs out there, just outside LA, and I remember I was working with some actors, and for some reason they made this dish. I don't know, was it sauerkraut?
Yeah.
Is that
lovely?
with ginger?
Delicious sauerkraut.
I loathe and detest it.
Right.
Right, and it was with ginger, and I was ill for days. And that kind of sticks in your DNA, doesn't it, a little?
Yeah. Well, I think it's the smell and the association, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my...
Quite a strong flavour, isn't it? Yeah, I love it.
Or the castle.
Castle.
As it was.
Yeah, what do you want to know?
I want to know. It looks fun. But how disappointed were you? You didn't go to Australia?
No, not at all.
Gutted.
No, seriously, mate, because I got asked when the show first started, was 20 years ago, I got asked to do it, but I just started in EastEnders then. And, of course, like anything, I was contracted EastEnders. And every year, they'd stop asking, then they'd ask again. And I always wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to do that show, certainly in Australia as well. And then when it was the 20th anniversary, they got in touch and they said, would I be available? So we kind of made ourselves available.
Yeah.
And regardless of where it was filmed, I wanted to be a part of it. But I'll tell you what was interesting. How about this? Everybody get in. Come on.
Yeah, go on.
While we were recording the show, we didn't know if anybody was watching it. Only because, the show's such a success when it goes to Australia.
Oh, I see. Was it the nervousness about whether anyone would watch a Welsh castle?
That's right. And also, before we went into the castle, all the celebs, all the out of work, I include myself in that.
Too much information.
Yeah, we had to stay in isolation. So I was in the middle of Wales High Street somewhere, in a big house on my own. And then we went into the show, into the castle, not knowing if people were tuning in or not. And it wasn't until you came out, you went, oh my God, 14 million people were watching. Ooh. And it was...
Is that what it was? 14?
Yeah, and it was an incredible experience, Matt. And I met some lovely people.
Yeah.
Do you know Dame Derbyshire, Victoria? Has she been on this?
No, I don't think she's
Oh, get Victoria on this.
Yeah?
Yeah, she's lovely. And
it's pretty intense, though, right? You've got to get on with those people.
Yeah, you do. And, I'd like to think I'd get on with anyone and everyone. And when you're under them conditions, you're only seeing on the show, in an hour show, you might see 18 minutes of what we did in 24 hours.
Sure.
So it's a lot of smoke and mirrors, but I absolutely had a ball. And the funny thing is, I've not watched any of it back yet.
Oh, yeah.
No.
That's...
Because,
would you want to?
No, because, the clips I've seen, I kind of watched it and go, oh, but you didn't see what happened before that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like having a memory of your first kiss or your first boyfriend or girlfriend. You see it through rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah.
I've not watched it.
I have to say, they pulled stops out because it looked like a fantastic location.
It was incredible. It was unbelievable. And being in that castle was just an experience. I mean, whether they do it again this year, I've no idea.
Yeah.
I think they may go back to Australia.
Yeah.
And I think the show feels like it belongs in Australia. But it did really well.
But that's saying it was, And
really
let's
well
face it, people wanted to watch anything they could, didn't they? Right.
OK.
Look at that.
Mate, it looks fantastic.
Can you see that before he has it?
That looks beautiful.
That looks delicious.
Oh,
right.
Well, you eat it then, Judy, if you think it's lovely.
Right, there you go. Try that.
OK.
Try that.
Right, forget what are they, prunes?
Yeah.
They are prunes.
Right, forget the prunes, love. I won't be eating prunes. I want prunes then.
Try a bit of pork.
I can try the pork.
Such a delicious meat.
I'm not... My mother-in-law will be shouting at the telly now.
And you can't... You can overcook it quite easily, and that's why people don't like pork, because it goes dry and horrible.
Credit where it's due.
Aww.
There?
It is.
Good. Ollie, what have you matched?
I have matched a beautiful Reserve the Bon Pass Cote d'Ivoire. They have that wonderful climate in the Southern Rhone. It's pear and rich white. But
I'm slightly embarrassed now because this feels like we've flipped it and I've got a food heaven.
oh,
There you
we'll take
go, you
that.
see?
That's a compliment.
Just
Really
nicely
nice.
done. There's chicken could be the same.
It's
you can dry a chicken out.
It's all
it could be
about the
horrible.
cook, isn't it? Who's cooking it?
Yeah, there is that.
If you're watching, love.
mainly Michaela over in the corner there. Let's all be honest.
Mrs. Richie, if you're watching, take note of what that did, all right?
Now, listen, we just say 20th of May, everyone's talking about Jamie returning to the stage.
Yep.
Everyone going to see it.
Yep.
All right?
And
Happy?
Saturday night, Channel 5, Caravanning with Shane Richie.
There
you go.
It's all going on here. That's all from us today on Saturday Kitchen Live. Thanks to Adam, Judy, Ollie, and of course Shane. All the recipes from the studio on the website, bbc.co.uk/Saturday Kitchen. Now, I've got more Best Bites for you tomorrow at 10 a.m. on BBC Two, and I'll be back here live next week with Richard Bainbridge, Georgina Hayden, and Bill Bailey. Bye for now.